Welcome to the Rusted Garden. Today's July 29th. It's been about a week since the last tour and tips video. This is everything I harvested today. When I go do the tour, all these vegetables are going to be on the plants, but we're doing it a little bit backwards. Today's video is really about what do you do when you can't get out into the garden. We've had 5 to 7 days of rain, lots of disease coming in and problems, or you've been away on vacation. What are your priorities? I'm also going to show you how I give them a feeding after they've been beat up sometimes by weather, or you haven't been around, or they've produced a lot. A really strong water-soluble fertilizer with some higher nitrogen will help your plants. You don't need it for every plant. I'm going to use probably a mix of fish fertilizer, the organic fertilizers on the right, and maybe even some of the chemical fertilizers. Chemical fertilizers don't hurt you or your plants. Just don't overuse them. Right here is a tomato that has a nice peck mark in it. That's from a bird. I'm going to show you how you deal with that, but really if you bring in a bird bath, bring in some water, that reduces the amount of damage sometimes from birds. Sometimes you get a species that loves tomatoes and you can't really do much about it. Real quick before we get to the tour, these are my midnight snack tomatoes, 3 kinds of eggplant, purple potted beans, a bunch of different sweet peppers. This is a purple beauty, wonderful pepper, nice and thick. Your tomatoes are going to crack. When it rains, you can't do much about that. I'm going to show you how I turn these into sauce. Last week I did a lot of cooking. I'm going to make some of that again this week, but no need to show you it a second time. So I'll show you how I make sauce with a hand blender. Those tomatoes were cut up for a video. Going to eat them with salt. Basil I just picked. This is how I wash most of my produce outdoors before I bring it inside. And those potatoes are from last week. That's the only thing that is from last week. All of this is brand new. So let's get out into the garden. Okay, so you saw today's harvest. It's only been 7 days since the last video when I did the harvest. Today I want to talk about priorities, taking care of the problems in your garden after 5, 6, 7 days of rain when you can't get out there or when you've been away. Just a quick look, I put in snow peas on 7/12. Today's the 28th of July. So you can get peas in now, you can get in a round of beans now. That's okra right down there. It grows really quickly. If you got a good 75 days before frost, you can drop in some okra. Things look pretty good. Priority number 1, don't start weeding. Don't do the things that can wait. Check for diseases. We had the 5, 7 days of rain. I've been going through my tomato plants. I'll show you everything I took off. I just wanted to show you how I'm removing leaves. They look pretty good for the most part. Lots of production in here. This is what you see on the table. But I went through and I cleaned out the leaves that had spots on them, had marks on them. This is also a good time nearing July or nearing August, towards the end of July. Plants might be a little beat up. Give them a water-soluble fertilizer. They look pretty good, pretty green because I took out a lot of the leaves. I wanted to show you a little bit of what they look like. With the high heat, lots of rain, sometimes your leaves will just yellow like that. That's not a disease or anything really to worry about. It's just the plant reacting to its surroundings. That is not a disease. So you remove those. And when you remove a lot of leaves, give them a nice drink of nitrogen, give them a little boost, get some of the leaf growth back. I also have to hit these again with my anti-fungal sprays. And you want to do that before you get to weeding and removing, other things from your garden. Like I haven't edged yet. I did cut the grass so it looked a little bit presentable. But leave the things that can wait until you take care of the priorities. Check for pests, check for disease. I also went under all of my beans, cucumbers. Let me come around this way. Wildflowers are doing really well, perennials. I went under my beans, cucumbers, zucchini. There's the cucumbers, and sprayed them with a jet of water. That's a great way to wash off any possible aphids, really spider mites, and your smaller insects. So this is how I spray the undersides of the plants. I usually actually give them 2 sprays. I just sprayed the watermelon one time, sprayed the bean plant one time. Water will pool if you're using containers, and sometimes, around the base of your plant. That's perfect, because as you're spraying under here, you're washing off spider mites, insects that live on the undersides of the leaves. They're not used to this because they're protected from the top of the leaf when it rains. And you'll wash them down, they'll drown in there, they won't really get established. Spider mites and the smaller insects start at the bottom, they start to live, they lay eggs, they move up a little, lay eggs, move up a little, just wash them back. Same thing for the watermelon. Get on the underside and spray, and just wash them down. And again, do this every 3 to 5 days. I use peppermint spray about once a week as a repellent. and it really seems to help my peppers, melons, cucumbers, beans do better and last longer. They don't start getting all that yellowing and browning that works the way up. Just want to be clear, peppermint oil is not the cure-all, but because of its scent, it really does mask the plant. It irritates, I think, spider mites and makes my garden a little bit healthier. Here is a watermelon that is wilting, and I'm concerned if you go in there and dig around, I looked, I didn't see them, but it might have some sort of vine borer. They typically don't wilt like that. Anyway, I washed the undersides of the melons. The melons over here are doing well. Look at that massive melon. I'll be doing videos on growing the melons vertically up these cages. Hopefully they don't all start dying off like that one. Here is an area of later tomatoes I planted doing really well. I have a lot of 6-foot plants now. Container plants. This is a pixie grape. Not sure how that's going to produce, but that's new for this year. Lots of basil tucked in there. Fig plant. Goji berry. Let me come in here. One thing that I started, I'll do a video on this too, is I dropped a bird bath in because I'm getting some birds coming in pecking the tomatoes. If you give them water, it cuts back on that. I've also created a place for dragonflies. By putting in this little solar bubbling fountain, it will attract dragonflies. Dragonflies love to eat insects. They eat like 80% or something crazy of their body weight. So they're great to have in the garden. Container tomatoes are coming back. The Roma is dying off as it's a determinate variety. I just did a video on this vertical growing system and harvested a lot out of there. More beans that I got in, sprayed the underside. Lots of tomatoes. You can just see everything that's really doing well. Tons of basil. Again, these boxes up here will get another round of basil probably today or tomorrow. So this will start dying out and flowering. As that happens, I'll have new basil coming up. Lots of red peppers going to come out of there. Hot Portugals. Right in there, I believe those are pepperoncinis. Got to take care of this whole mess. This is overgrown. Beans are doing well, and really, I can't stress, just simple water spray, and this has been getting the spray every 3 to 5 days. Just look how healthy it is. And I do put peppermint oil down about once a week on these plants. Beans ready to come out. They're going to go with my potatoes. Not a lot of beans, but I'll have enough for beans and potatoes. Alright, let me just take you over here. More leaves I've been removing. The eggplant are doing pretty well in containers. Some nice large ones right in there. I'm going to take one of those, take that one out of there. The herb area is doing really well. Tons of mint. Going to make some mint tea. Lots of herbs. The basil's going crazy. This is probably about to flower. Let me take you over to the peppers real quick. My other pepper garden, and you can see the weeds are in there. They're going to go last. Got a lot to take out of here. Scotch bonnets are ready. More hot Hungarian wax. Jalapenos. Cayennes. Weeds. More of the pepperoncini. They're supposed to be golden. I don't know why they've turned that color this year. They're coming from the same seed as of the last 2 years, at least where I buy it from. Poblanos, I still want them to get a little bit bigger. Showed you these last time. These are Mad Hatter and All-America Selection winner. Letting them grow a little bit longer. Pretty and sweet. You know, lots and lots of growth. These are some tomatoes I'm starting, dwarf tomatoes, Tiny Tim, Ham's Gelba, also a Matt's Wild. Going to try and get a cherry tomato in now. If you have like 75 days before the frost comes, you can drop in some tomato plants. Also starting some cucumbers, okra, another zucchini. I'm also working on a seed starting mix that maybe I'll have for sale in 2019, and this is also part of the experiment. It's doing quite well. Coming over this way, I have cucumbers in containers. You've seen those are growing really, really well. I harvested a couple out of here and did a video on it on the YouTube channel for All America Selections that I'm helping develop videos, but you can see some cucumbers back there. Pick a Bushel's a great container cucumber. And then I just wanted to show you the rest of the determinate varieties out here. Tons of tomatoes. These have actually been sprayed for 4 consecutive days with a hydrogen peroxide solution in water. Been working on learning how to do that without damaging the plant. I've had success. A video will be coming out on that. But a lot of these plants are going to get pulled out because they are the determinate type. They've produced, so I'm going to be taking all these tomatoes off. And with all the produce that you're seeing on the table, you will see shortly, I'm going to make a sauce. I'm going to show you how to do that. So I decided to go with a mix of all the water-soluble fertilizers you see there. This is a 2-gallon container. I used the Job's organic water-soluble as if I had 1 gallon. Used the fish fertilizer as if I had 1 gallon. And then I put in a half a tablespoon of the chemical fertilizers, which is about 1/4 strength because there's 2 gallons in there. You don't have to be afraid to use the chemical fertilizers. You just don't want to overuse them. So I am going to water a bunch of my container plants. That's a tomato plant that's going to be around for a while. The other determinate varieties that I'm going to pull out, I'm not going to water. When you get a lot of rain, like I had for the last 5 to 7 days, your plants in your containers can have a lot of the fertilizers washed out. So give them a nice drink, maybe a little boost up a higher nitrogen than you might normally, and it'll do perfectly fine. You don't have to overdo it. Okay, oh, here's one more. So here's another one. Let's give it a quick drink. Nothing crazy. It's great if you want to be 100% organic, but you don't need to fear or feel bad if you use some of the chemical fertilizers sometimes. Okay, let's get out to the garden. I'll show you the other plants that I would hit with this mix. I have a couple cucumber plants that are looking a bit yellow. Gonna give them a quick drink, nothing crazy. Oh, I forgot to harvest the patio choice tomatoes there. I'll have to grab them. And this is again a mix of fish emulsion, a little bit of the chemical fertilizer, and some water-soluble fertilizer by Job's. That's all organic. The plants in here look pretty good. Let's go over to those tomatoes that were yellow. So here are my tomatoes that have the yellow leaves. So I'm going to give them the drink with the water-soluble fertilizer, and they should do perfectly well. So once you check your plants for disease, wash the undersides, clean them up, get them ready, feed your plants, and you can go ahead and do those things that can wait in your garden. So let's get to making the sauce, and I'll show you how simple that is. The tomatoes here are going to go to a tomato salad. The ones that are going to become sauced are the ones that are a little bit beat up, maybe cracked. Fill a pot up. We're going to de-seed the tomatoes, cut them into pieces, drop them in the pot, maybe a half a cup of water if you need it, and just boil that down with some salt and some pepper till soft. And then we'll take the hand blender to it. You're going to bring it to a boil just like this, maybe 20-30 minutes. Don't add a lot of water. There's so much water in the tomatoes. And once we blend this up, we're going to reduce it, meaning we want the water to come out so it thickens up as a nice sauce. And you don't add your basil or herbs really till the end. If you put them in now, they're just going to kind of boil away, maybe get bitter, but there'll be no flavor. They'll go in the last 10 minutes of the sauce. After about 20 or 30 minutes, take the hand blender and you just immerse it right into there. Turn this down to medium-low, and this is basically how I make most of my sauces. You could put in a green pepper, eggplant, whatever you really want. And the whole trick, take the seeds out. They can be a little bit bitter. Don't add your herbs until the last 10 minutes. So now that this is pretty much going to be pureed down, you're going to want to let it simmer on low, on medium, until this reduces by about half, and it's going to be just like a sauce. So let's get to it. It's reducing down nicely, still has a way to go. I just wanted to put this tip out there too. I put a little bit of salt in at the beginning. Don't season it till it's reduced down to the thickness you want, because if you salt it when it's, mostly liquid, and then it reduces, it's going to concentrate and it's going to be way too salty. So just put a pinch of salt in at the beginning, and then we're going to season this all at the end. Okay, here's the sauce reduced. Basil, oregano. I shut the heat off. You really just want to put this in the last 10 minutes, if that. And then I'm just going to chop it all up. So this is my quick sauce. This is how I make all of my sauces. I also freeze a lot this way. But I've got my tomato, basil, oregano, spaghetti sauce ready to go. Okay, so the sauce is done. I'm going to eat that tomorrow on some pasta. Tonight I'm having some fish with the other produce I pulled out of the garden. One thing I might have forgotten to really state clearly is after you do all these things, you also want to make sure you get your sprays down before you get to the other parts of the garden. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please check out my seed shop at www.therustedgarden.com. Thanks for watching.